Hi, Bill Russell from CrossFit Cleveland and Rocky River, here with your workout details for Tuesday, March 31st, 2020. I'm going to go over your warm-up details, and then the workout, and then a little bit of a cool down, and then we'll follow that with movement demonstrations. Stacy's going to be showing you the warm-up movements, and then I'll follow with the kettlebell swing and additional video on the plank jacks. So if you're familiar with the warm-up details, and you want to fast forward, move on about 5 minutes ahead of Stacy's start, and you'll be there. Your warm-up today is going to be the CrossFit Cleveland Ab Routine Plus. Skipping plank jacks. You have plenty of those coming in the workout. We don't need to add them in the warm-up. So you'll do 15 reps of each of the movements, 2 rounds each. Then after that, I want you to take your kettlebell and perform 2 rounds of 10 kettlebell swings and 10 plank jacks, just at a moderate pace, just to get you primed for the workout and familiar with the transitions. Our workout today, in typical Tuesday fashion, is a fast and furious AMRAP in 11 minutes. That's as many rounds as possible in 11 minutes of 31 kettlebell swings and 31 plank jacks. You should be able to do this workout pretty much non-stop, taking very brief breaks. Try to do all of the 31 kettlebell swings each round unbroken for as many rounds as you can. Standard weight for men in our gym is 55 pounds, ladies is 40. Use your discretion and your judgment. Use your regular kettlebell swing weight if you're familiar with these workouts. If you're just new to kettlebell swings, you may want to use about half of that just for your first attempt. Following the workout, you're going to do our cool down. You do a wall sit or iron chair. Hold for 3 minutes against the wall in as many attempts as necessary. Make sure your back is flat against the wall, your shins are perpendicular to the floor, and your thighs are parallel to the floor. So a nice 90-degree angle at your hips and at your knees. Hold that for 3 minutes. And there you have it. If you need to see the demonstrations of any of the movements, Stacy's following with the warm-up. And about 5.5 minutes from now, I have a demonstration of the kettlebell swings and ideas on using various items if you're doing this at home. So enjoy this workout, hit it fast and furious, and have a great day. Please post any comments or your scores on our Facebook fan page or our website. Thanks.
Hi, we're going to start with a Samson stretch. So, Samson stretch, you want to put both your feet facing forward, and you want to square your hips off so that they're facing whichever way you're facing. We're going to take our hands, clasp your hands, bring them up and over your head. This is just a light stretch to start the blood flowing. Some people you'll see will do this with a deep lunge. We're not doing that here today. We're just getting that nice stretch through your hip flexors, so you're into your shoulders, and just hold it for about 10 seconds on each side. I wasn't counting, but I'm going to switch sides. Again, remember, both feet facing forward. You can go as wide as you need or as narrow, and making sure that you're getting that hip flexor opened up in this stretch. Here's a demonstration of the sit-ups. If you have an ab mat, this is a good time to use those. If you don't have an ab mat, you can use a pillow or a blanket or a towel or sweatshirt, anything that you want. Just roll it up and you're going to put it into the small of your back. I'm going to show you a couple different versions, but I'm going to start with this one where we take our feet and put them together in what we call frogging our legs. Every time you do a sit-up, you want your shoulders to touch the ground, and you want to sit up and all the way up. I like to touch my toes, but I'm coming all the way up, and each time is all the way back and all the way up. If that's too difficult for you and you need a little bit of a modification, you can take your feet further away or put them up here, and then you can do the same thing and just sit all the way up. Make sure you're sitting all the way up, shoulders touch the ground each time. The other option, if that's too hard and you can't sit all the way up, I want you to just do a crunch, okay? So just think about taking your hands straight overhead And I just want you to think about your fingertips going straight up to the ceiling, all the way down. Up. You notice my shoulders are still touching the ground each and every time. Here's a demonstration of a squat. For a squat, you're going to take your feet hip distance apart, and you're going to take your feet and just slightly point it out rather than just straight forward. You're going to take your feet out, chest is up, the weight is going to stay in the back and out of your feet is how I like to describe it. Thinking about if you were on a beach and you were spreading the sand away and you didn't want to sink in. Keeping your chest up. Again, I like to keep my arms up. That was a good reminder to look up, chest up. You're going to sit below parallel and then straight back up. Thinking about pulling up through your inner thighs and keeping your feet on the ground. Don't come up onto your toes. Okay, so a couple more of those so that you can see. Chest is up, below parallel, all the way up, squeeze. This is the top, all the way back down. Don't short it here. Get that squeeze in. I'm going to demonstrate a plank jack for you. So a plank jack is getting into that hollow hold. You want to make sure that you're in a nice plank position. From here, we're just going to take your feet out and in. That's one. Out and in. I'm not hopping, right? Nice and keep it nice and tight. That core is tight. Everything is activated and out and in with your feet. I'm going to demonstrate a flutter kick for you. Sometimes we do a 2-count flutter kick, sometimes a 4-count flutter kick, but I'm just going to teach you the 2-count right now. Every other right, left is 1, because 1 is never really 1. I'm going to take my hands and put them underneath my hips, right here. I'm going to keep my shoulder blades off the ground and into that nice gymnastics hollow hold, and then just flutter. That's 1, 2, 3. You could go big if you wanted, but it's not necessary. Just right here, keeping the small of your back on the ground. Keep breathing on these, making sure that the movement's coming out of your hip. You don't want to be doing this, right? So keep your legs straight, down, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you need to count every leg, just double that number, whatever it is. Bicycle crunches. So the demonstration for a bicycle crunch is, again, you want that nice hollow hold. Are you getting this? We're in this hollow position a lot. The nice tight core, everything's tight. Shoulder blades are off the ground, and our feet are off the ground. Bringing one knee in at a time. That's 1. Right, left is 1. If you watch my flutter kick video, you'll know that 2 is usually 1. Superman. So Superman, you're going to go lay out flat onto your stomach, arms and feet out ahead of you, head is down, and you're just going to come up, give it a good squeeze, and all the way back down. All the way back down. Each time, if we're doing 10 of those, just squeeze it up, give it a nice hold, couple second hold, and then bring it back down. You're going to do, if we're doing 10, you're going to do that 10 times, not like the Samson stretch where you just hold it.
I'm going to demonstrate a kettlebell swing. First, talk about what a kettlebell swing is. Kettlebell swing is primarily a lower body exercise. Your upper body is involved, but you're really working to build power and explosiveness in hip extension. So what I want you to do is hold the kettlebell in both hands. Out front, we're going to do our standard kettlebell swing. The kettlebell is going to come up to about eye level or just a little bit higher. I'm going to have my feet just a little bit wider than shoulder width. Now I'm going to start to swing the kettlebell. I'm going to drop down and drive up. Notice I'm not using a lot of power through my legs. As I increase that power, that kettlebell will go higher. That's what I'm after. Big hip pop. Keeping my heels down at all times, squeezing my glutes, trying to focus more on posterior chain involvement. Important thing with a kettlebell, be careful when you pick it up and set it back down. Don't be casual and just twist over and pick it up in a bad position. You might tweak something. So think of it as a deadlift. Stand around the kettlebell, reach down, pick it up, and then start to swing. Also at the end, when you're about to take a rest, don't just slump over and drop it on the ground. As you finish, 31, here, and then set it down. That's a kettlebell swing. For those of you doing this workout at home, if you don't have a kettlebell, here are a couple of ideas that you can use with household items. If you have a backpack or a gym bag or a rucksack, you can use any of those. Just be careful. If it's bigger, you got to make sure that that can come between your legs and not scrape on the floor. So this is not an ideal choice, but it will work. I'm going to grab the handle with both hands. My feet might be a little wider than a kettlebell swing because I want to have the ability for the weight to come between my legs. And I'm going to swing up, down. Mechanics are all the same. Just be careful if you've got items that are loose, you can hear it flopping around in the bag. Stuff maybe a towel or a blanket in to keep everything from moving around. Our newly famous washing detergent jug. This weighs about 15 pounds. It's fairly light. Again, holding the handle with both hands, drive up and down, up, down, up, up, down. If you have a slam ball, you can use it as well. Just remember to keep your arms straight, holding on the side of the ball. Again, feet fairly wide, and up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And of course, if you have a dumbbell, you can do the same. Hold the dumbbell in both hands and just swing it right between your legs, just like a kettlebell. I'm going to demonstrate plank jacks for you. There are 3 positions that you can do with the plank jack. The most common in our gym is on your forearms, like you were going to hold a plank hold. With your feet together, like a jumping jack in the plank position. Out, in, out, in. So out, 1, 2, 3. Remember, these are plank jacks, not pike jacks. So not sticking your butt up in the air, but trying to find that hollow. And they're meant to be done fairly quickly. You can also do the plank jack at the top of a push-up. When you do that, make sure you're corkscrewing your hands into the ground. Get a good position with your shoulders. Don't let them ride forward, but up, straight, plank, out, in, out, in, out, in. And the hardest, and it's a good challenge, try to do it at the bottom of a push-up. Hold yourself right off the floor. Those are 3 variations of plank jacks.